Gacha games have always had to sell you whatever their pullable units are, and for many of them, it's been playable characters. Many games in the past achieved this by focusing on visual appeal, and this is still true to this day, but Genshin drew myself, along with many others, in because it broke the mold. Not only did designers behind Genshin focus on designing appealing characters, but they took the time to give them backstories, personalities, story quests, and unique traits. This helped make a gacha unit feel less like the next flavor of the month and more like a genuine character in a world that you are adding to your team. I believe this is one of the many reasons that made Genshin successful in the beginning. It was the perfect storm of a release during COVID and a crap ton of effort put into a gacha game, an open world one at that. It was a huge step forward apart from the churn and burn, the rinse and repeat gachas that we had grown accustomed to in the past. However, while Genshin had certainly set a new precedent in the gaming industry, what has happened to it 5 years later? This is a question that I can spend a long time discussing, but I want to focus on the character design aspect of it today. Over the years, the Genshin character designs have changed more than you might think. As new regions are introduced, we get new settings that inspire new designs. Even so, there have always been little details that help unify them under the Genshin umbrella. Some time ago, I made this video that went over 4 years of Genshin designs, and I concluded that 3 things were common among most, if not all, the characters. There's always a high level of detail, some level of asymmetry, and the golden accents among the characters' design. However, there's something else that makes a Genshin character feel like they belong to the world it's at, and that's how their design ties into their respective region, and the story that it tells. Now, the developers have not always been great with storytelling and clothing design. Show someone who's never seen Genshin before Yanfei and they will never guess that she is a lawyer. But let's take a look at some successful ones. Diona has a shaker on her back and you know instantly that she mixes drinks. Diluc has a stern expression and a holder for his sword alongside some fancier clothes, and you can make a good guess that he has a wealthier status and that he fights. Charlotte has a camera on her belt, and we can guess from that alone that she's a photographer or someone who needs to record things. These are 3 characters that you can know absolutely nothing about, but discern accurate information about them just from their design alone. But there's also a key thing about these 3 as well. They focus more on giving the player information and less on fan service. Fan service, a word that's been thrown around a lot in the community lately. I'll say it first and foremost, fan service in a game isn't bad. I just think there's a time and place for it, and I do think Genshin has taken more of an interest in providing its player base with fan service than before. Most will point to 5.4's Isa Bathhouse cutscenes as example of this, which is true, but I think it goes beyond that. The designs aren't so much focused on telling us much about the character anymore, but rather to appeal to various audiences for that money. I'll rip the band-aid off. It was Escoffier's ridiculous design that made me pull the trigger to finally script this video out. Yes, we can tell that she's a chef right away, which is great storytelling for us as the player, but my god, the front-only apron is ridiculous. What kind of chef wears lingerie? Am I the only one getting those silly, sexy Halloween costume vibes? I can say with great confidence that if this character was released during version 4.0 with Fontaine or developed with the rest of the Fontaine cast, she wouldn't have had such a skimpy outfit. But that's my speculation speaking, and she's not the only one. I've talked about Malika before and my distaste for her design, so I'll keep it brief. Not only do you have the nonsensical zipper right down the middle of her design, but for a biker outfit which is meant to protect you, she has various skin openings on it. These openings are also conveniently visible where her hair breaks so the player can see it. At least she has a helmet that spawns when she rides her motorcycle. Sitlali is regarded as one of the better designs of the Natlan cast, but there are openings in her clothes that really didn't need to be there either. She has 3 diamond-shaped openings near her chest area, and one of her arm sleeves that has similar openings as well. She's got those hip windows too, as her torso is kind of like a swimsuit, so those hips can peek out even with the cloth around her waist. Not to mention that most of the characters we've been getting are female. The most recent 5-star male release was Kanish in 5.0 on September 17th of 2024. Before Kanish, the last 5-star male was oh wow, it was Ryazli in Point 2 on October 17th, 2023. We've had a few 4-star male characters like Sethos and Auroran. Also, Aoife will be coming up soon. Listen, I don't mind having female characters. A lot of them can be pretty cool and cute, but damn, it sucks for us guy enjoyers to not have as many in the roster. At least I could save up a lot of Primo Gems, though. Some will argue that by releasing more female characters that this alone is Genshin catering to a different audience pool, and honestly, I don't know. What I want to get into next is whether Genshin's new emphasis on fan service is becoming too much or not. And, well, the answer depends on the type of person you are. If you're like me who doesn't particularly enjoy fan service but can also shrug it off, this probably won't bother you too much. But I've seen lots of posts on the internet and I can tell this new direction has bothered a lot of players. Some say they fell in love with Genshin's lore focus and world building, and to see them now focus on a shallower aspect is frustrating. Others say that fanservice in Genshin is mild compared to other games, that it really is no big deal. And yeah, there are some other gacha titles right now that have crazy amounts of fanservice that would make the average Genshin player head explode. I will say I definitely don't enjoy the new character designs as much, but I do see some patterns repeating. Sitlali has hip windows, but so did Shenhe when she released in version 2. A lot of characters are continuing the pattern of having a boob window or a different color of fabric on their chest, so that area is further emphasized. For goodness sakes, almost no female characters wear pants, and you bet that's probably for a reason. So, is there too much fan service in Genshin? In the end, I actually don't think so, but I do believe we are going to see more of it. We have to keep in mind that Genshin Impact is about to enter a highly anticipated region of Snezhnaya. We may be stalled and not cry for some time before that, but this is the last region before whatever the finale is going to be. When the lore that brought so many players in finally finishes, there's a good reason to expect the game to take a hit. How many people have you met or seen say that they're only sticking with Genshin to see the story through to the end? Once it's over, the devs will have to focus on new strategies to keep you spending money and playing. Perhaps this is their attempt to test the waters on how they're going to do just that. Thank you for watching, and please remember this is all just my opinion on the matter, but I'd like to know what you think. Is there too much fan service? Are you okay with it? Or should Genshin ditch the new direction it's going? You're welcome to agree or disagree, just keep it respectful. I also have other Genshin related videos if you'd like to listen to more. Until next time.